Hey, it's AncientSurvivalPunk.com. Good morning. It is 64 degrees, and we are recording this time. There was a slight snafu, but we're good to go now. And today we're talking about the 10 tools that solve 90% of the problems. If you could only own 10 tools, these are the 10 tools. I'm going to change out one of these on here. I'm going to move it to possibly a bonus number 11. Also, I'm going to redo the order. But before we get into all of that, though, let's take a listen to our morning theme music.
Dirt in my veins, hammer in my fist, breaking chains, worn out gloves, yeah, my battle gear, fixing the world one nail, one tear, sweat.
And it's another day of running late. Yesterday I almost had it down pat. This morning there were snafus. I'm getting there. Tools. The 10 tools you need to solve 90% of your problems, especially around the house if you are a homeowner, even if you're a renter. When I was a renter, I did a lot of stuff. Maybe I recocked my shower one time. Like it was old and the caulk was starting to, its caulk was moldy. So I tore that out and then I cleaned the grout. I got a grout thing. It was gross. I was in that apartment for a really long time, but the rent was great. When I had moved out, my rent had recently gone up to $600 a month for a 1-bedroom apartment. And it was a pretty dang big apartment. Not like a great apartment by any means, but when you hear what people are paying for rent now, they would kill for a $600 apartment. Anyway, number one on the list to me is always going to be a cordless drill. Later on, we'll talk about just having screwdrivers, but there are so many times where just having a cordless drill makes your life better and easier. I've thought about, like, as an upgrade, as an additional, not on this list, I've thought about getting one of those power screwdrivers. They're not strong. You're not going to, like, drill holes with them. But there's a lot of times where just not having to do the screwdriving motion to unscrew or screw things would just be a dream, right? Like, you're taking out like 20 screws. Just having a power screwdriver is great. I usually just use my drill. Like that, I just use my drill. I'm gonna make a real good attempt to edit that out. Anyway, if I have to take in or out a whole lot of screws, I usually just grab my screwdriver and just go easy on it. Starting holes, drilling holes. I don't have a pocket hole jig, but sometimes I'll just kind of DIY a pocket hole, right? Like you take your screwdriver, you take your drill, and you drill at an angle in a piece of wood, a small pilot hole, and then you go back in with a slightly larger drill bit that will accommodate your entire screw, and you make a little hole that doesn't go all the way through, like halfway or so that the wood has some kind of structural stability, right? You need some wood for it to hold onto so it doesn't just snap off. And then you put your screw in, and you have a concealed hole and a strong-ish joint. So I definitely would like to get a pocket hole jig. That's well outside this top 10 list, right? But having a pocket hole jig is one of those things you should think about. If you're all woodworking, repairy, mechanically inclined, I've put new legs on my couch because I'm just not going to buy a couch for this house, right? This couch is going to last us until we move, and then I don't give a shit what happens to it. throw it in the dump, burn, bear. I don't care. I'm just not replacing it. I'm just going to have it limp along till we move. Which leads us straight into a multi-bit screwdriver. Um, I just said there's a lot of times where I use my drill instead of a screwdriver, but it's not always applicable, right? You can't always use it. It's too big and too heavy and too indelicate, right? You're taking tiny screws off of the back of a laptop. Not really the best tool for the job. I have a couple multi-bit screwdrivers. I have one kind of very specific, like electronic repair ones. It has all of the safety and the specialty bits that you don't need for most things, right? Only kind of small, delicate electronics have the weird security ones, the weird little triangle ones, all of the weird bits that they don't want. They don't want to use a Phillips head screw just because everyone has it, and they kind of want to discourage you from opening your laptop or your iPhone, whatever. I bought just a generic fix-it toolkit, and it works great. I've lost a couple pieces over the year. It's maintained pretty well, but having been dropped multiple times, I should at some point replace it, but at this point it's still good, and it works for everything. Having a bigger actual, because this thing it's small, it's made for delicate things, right? Which is the opposite of the screwdriver. I also make a point for just having multiple screwdrivers, right? I have a bunch of the cheap take a bit screwdriver that makes your screwdriver handle basically be able to screw anything, right? Like you can put any of the bits, which are universal, into the screwdriver and do whatever you want, right? It won't take the bits. There's probably an adapter, but it won't take the bits for my delicate one because they're tiny, right? Those are tiny screws and they fit in a tiny screwdriver. The normal bits, I think there is a standard for it because I've interchanged them tons. Unless there's a crazy oddball out there, they seem to be pretty standard, and that'll be between the both of those, right? I think you should own, back to screwdrivers, right? I think there is a solid case, especially as I get older, to just having a good set of screwdrivers. And I kind of want wood ones, right? I have had my wife for Christmas a few years ago bought me a set of screwdrivers because I really wanted them, and they came in all different sizes and shapes. A little folding roll-up pouch thing. A tool roll-up is a pretty good. I like that a lot. Anyway, it came in this roll-up case, and they're okay, but they weren't. This is a terrible design flaw because I bet they came from Temu, which is fine for most things. There tends to be a lot of jank, though. The screwdrivers weren't full tang, so the screwdriver metal only went into the handle, the plastic handle, an inch or so out of 5 inches. So on multiple ones of them, I had the handle snap off, basically making it useless at that point, unless I want to rehandle a Temu screwdriver, and I can tell you that I don't. So there's really a place for good, solid made screwdrivers. Granted, you're not gonna. I've never broke a handle off one of those multi screwdrivers. I just haven't. But I myself am really considering getting a set of wooden screwdrivers and just have those, right? You don't need you just need a couple of the the most used sizes. Let's move on. Adjustable wrench. I feel like this isn't really one item as much as it is a few items. You need a few different kinds of adjustable wrench, right? Sometimes you need a crescent wrench for a lot of things, right? Like, once again, would be nice to have a dedicated set of wrenches. For a lot of things, they will work better. A crescent wrench isn't always the best tool. There's a little bit of give and play in it. They can get locked up over the years if you don't maintain them well. I've had to throw away many wrenches because they'll get rusted and seize up. Or the mechanism is cheap and it'll bind and get stuck. There tends to be, on the cheap ones, there tends to be a bit too much play in it, right? You adjust it to the right size and it'll strip off bolts because it's loose, and it'll go around the corner and it'll start stripping off the bolt. Not always, but also a lot of times an adjustable crescent wrench will save the day. So there's a time and place for a crescent wrench, and there's a time and place for a dedicated set of wrenches that are not going to have any play and are going to be a solid fit. Once again, quality comes into things a lot. If you could buy a vintage Craftsman set, you'd probably be solid. The other one, I feel like you absolutely, definitely. What is this guy? Why do you have lights? What are you? There's flashing orange lights on a car. It is so bizarre. And there's so many cars behind me. Anyway. Wow, go around me, dude. Absolutely go around me. Ugh. Go the fuck around me. Yeah, go. Fuck you, bitches. Yeah, you guys are probably doing drugs and shit. Anyway, monkey wrench. Everyone should absolutely own a monkey wrench. There's a lot of times where a monkey wrench is the only thing that will do the damn job. And if you don't have it, you really are kicking yourself. Mine, I either lost or it seized up, and I had to get a new one. And I really needed it at that time. Fucking plumbing issues. So, if you do not have a monkey wrench, for the love of God, go add a monkey wrench to your tool set. And I'm surprised you haven't needed it. If you're a younger person listening to this, because you discovered things could go wrong and you probably need to be prepared, and your dad was a piece of shit and never taught you about tools, and you don't own a monkey wrench, go buy a monkey wrench. Trust me, one day you're going to be like, oh man, that monkey wrench saved the day. Yeah, it happens a lot. Anyway, let's move on. I think the next one is pliers. I'm going to probably have to do a 2-part episode, guys. Pliers. Yep, I was right. Channel lock or slip joint. So many of the things on this list are more categories of tools that you should own and not this specific tool. When I said drill, having an impact drill probably also is a good idea. And there's a chance at some point in your life you may need a hammer drill. And when you need one, you need one. Some of these things though are better rented or borrowed. Right? There's a lot of things where it's like, I'm divided on this. There's a lot of times where I hate to buy a tool to only use once for a specific job, but the part of me that loves tools doesn't care. I got to buy another tool. So, however you want to go with that. So, pliers. There's a channel locks I use quite a lot, especially in conjunction with either the monkey wrench or the crescent wrench. I tend to use those often together. Like having the crescent wrench or the monkey wrench lock onto something and using the channel locks to tighten. Yes, I've also used like 2 crescent wrenches or a monkey wrench and a crescent wrench. But sometimes the channel locks are either more readily available or depending on size, right? Sometimes the channel locks get really big and you can really just grab something and crank on it. So channel locks are a fantastic tool to have. Those guys that sped around me just barely ended up ahead of me because of a red light. And they're telling each other going off to probably have butt sex. Anyway, vice grip's another good one to have. Like I said, it's a category and you need a bunch of pliers. Needle nose pliers will absolutely save the day when that's what you need. However, there are step-ins. The other day, my stepson, for his, maybe it was Christmas, he's like 20 now. He really wanted an eyebrow piercing, so we gave him a gift card to a piercing place for Christmas, and he got it in. Anyway, the ball fell off recently, and he was having trouble getting it on. And small and slippery, right? Makes sense. So he was like, "Can you help me?" And it was like 5 in the morning or something, right? Because for the love of God, he doesn't sleep, and I get up early. I'm trying to put it on, and it's just hard and it's slippery. I get my Leatherman multi-tool, and I grab it with that, and absolutely does the trick. So in the future, I know that's the way to go. You use pliers to start it, and then you can type. Well, honestly, I just use the pliers. Hey, there's those douchebags that sped past me. Enjoy getting your gas, douches. Next one. Last one for this particular episode, and then we'll pick up tomorrow. Good, I have a show topic for tomorrow. Utility knife. I highly believe everybody, especially if you're a man, should have a pocket knife. Women too should have a pocket knife. Every man absolutely must have a pocket knife. It's time for me to get a new one, I think. I need to sharpen this one, but also I've carried this same EDC knife for forever, for so long. I think it's time to try a new design. I think it's the Spyderco Tenacious or Endura. I don't remember. I will link it in the show notes. Probably. Anyway, having something like a box cutter is great, especially for things that are going to just pointlessly dull your pocket knife. You should have your pocket knife good and sharp at all times. I need to get a new sharpening system probably today. But things like opening boxes, cutting open plastic clamshells, cutting LVP flooring, cutting insulation, cutting carpet. There are a million things that you need a utility knife for, and you have to have one, and blades. There's nothing like just slapping in a new blade and being done with it, right? They're cheap. You can do it a lot. Absolutely have a utility knife. Opening boxes, cutting rope, trimming materials, emergency cutting. They make skinning utility knives so that you don't have to have a skinning knife and keep it sharp. You just slap in a new kind of like scalpel blade and skin. Those things are really awesome. They're a little pricey, but I think they're pretty neat. So with that, let's wrap up this particular episode, and we'll pick back up with 5 more on the morrow. This is James from StrongPunk.com, DIY to Survive, you guys.
Rust on my hands, dirt in my veins, hammer in my fist breaking chains. Worn out gloves, yeah, my battle gear, fixing the world one nail, one tear. Sweat drips down like molten steel. No surrender, no time to kneel. Give me tools, yeah, yeah, give me tools. Build it up, break it down, no rules. Give me tools, yeah, yeah, give me tools. My hands, my will, my burning fuel. Sawdust clouds like a storm inside. Blueprint dreams that won't subside. Drill in my hand tearing through time. DIY soul in its filthy prime. Brick by brick, I carve my name. With every cut, I stake my claim. Give me tools, yeah, yeah, give me tools. Build it up, break it down, no rules. Give me tools, yeah, yeah, give me tools. My hands, my will, my burning fuel. Brick by brick, I carve my name. With every cut, I stake my claim. Give me tools, yeah, yeah, give me tools. Build it up, break it down, no rules. Give me tools, yeah, yeah, give me tools. My hands, my will, my burning fuel. Build it up, break it down, no rules. Give me tools, yeah, yeah, give me tools. Build it up, break it down, no rules. Give me tools, yeah, yeah, give me tools. My hands, my will, my burning fuel. Break it down, no rules.